All right. Hello, students. We are going to get started with your notebook setup for our next unit titled Thermal Energy. So you're going to need to get your notebook out and you're going to need to create a couple of quick things before we go to our quick notes for the week. On your next open page, you need to create a cover page for this unit called Thermal Energy. You can draw some pictures. I drew a flame because that's what I think of when I think of thermal energy. Once you have that done, you need to create a table of contents. And the first thing that's going to go in there is your states of matter notes. And then go to the next open page and you're going to title it States of Matter. And then I'm going to go over to a PowerPoint slide and it's going to show you exactly how to set up this page. All right, students. So setting up your notes, you should have on your open page titled it States of Matter. And then I want you to fill in the rest like you do here on this picture. I know it might not be the best to see, but you've got 3 vocab words at the top: matter, atoms, and particles. Then in the middle, I want you to create a spot called States of Matter. There's going to be a couple of sentences we write in that open space. And then I want you to, let me present so this is easier to see. Okay. And then at the very bottom, which is going to take up about half the page, is going to be what's called your states of matter tree diagram. And we're going to talk about solids, liquids, and gases. There are more than 3 states of matter, but these are the big ones that you need to understand for this unit. So go ahead and press pause, fill out your note sheet like this, and then when you're ready to go, press unpause to keep going. Okay, let's take a look at those first 3 words at the very top there, and I want you to write these in. So matter is every physical thing around you, like the air, water, desk, etc. We talked a little bit about this in our last unit, but we're really going to be hitting that hard this time around. The next word is atoms. These are the smallest unit of matter. You've probably seen pictures of these. They've got the little dots and then something's twirling around them. I recommend that you Google atoms to kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. And then particles is just a word that means a very small piece of matter. We're probably going to be using this a lot in place of atoms. So you'll hear atoms and particles used, and they pretty much mean the same thing for this unit. So go ahead and get those written down, and then we're going to move on to the next part of the notes. So press pause, write them down, and unpause when you're ready to go. Okay, so states of matter. Matter, so within matter, let's say within this pen, atoms that make up this pen are constantly in motion. We can't feel it, we can't see it, but they are constantly in motion. Same thing with a glass of water, same thing with the air around you. They are constantly in motion. If you want to change from one state to another, like a solid to a liquid to a gas, etc., you need to change the temperature of that object, or you need to change the pressure that it is under. So those are the 2 major things that will cause matter to change from one state to another. Please get these 2 sentences written down in that middle space. So go ahead and press pause, and when you're finished, go ahead and press play to continue to the next part. Okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. So on your notes, we have this tree diagram that we're going to work on filling out. As you'll notice here, we've got 3 columns or branches on our tree diagram. We've got solids, liquids, and gases, and there's a number of bullet points for each one. So we're going to do our best to fill it out. I'll show you my teacher copy at the very end so you can make sure you have all the information that you need. So let's go down to solids. This is a state of matter where particles are close together. So very, very close together. They have a definite shape, like a chair is a chair shape, a mountain is a mountain shape, ice is whatever shape you freeze it in. It has a definite volume, so it takes up a certain amount of space. Like the chair or the mountains are not going to change how much space they take up. And lastly, they have a low energy. When you write this down, please make sure that you underline this one part here, low energy. So go ahead and press pause, write these down in the solid section, and then press play when you are ready to continue. Next, we've got liquids. So this is a state of matter where the matter takes on the shape of its container. So the oceans don't really have a shape because it's all one giant planet. But if you were to take water, which is liquid, and pour it into a glass, it'll be shaped whatever the glass is. So if you have a jar, it's going to be the shape of a jar. If you have a cup, it's going to be the shape of a cup. If you're drinking water, it's going to take on the shape of your lower jaw. Or when it goes into your stomach, it's going to take on the shape of your stomach. It's just whatever is containing it, it takes on that shape. It still has a definite volume, so it's going to still take up the same amount of space. So that 2 liters of Mountain Dew is still going to take up 2 liters, whether it's in a bottle or whether it's spread out across the floor. And it has a medium energy. Like with solids, I want you to underline this medium energy part because that's really important to understand for this unit. Sorry, go ahead and write that down. Press pause, write it down. When you're ready, we're going to move on to the last one. And that's gases. This is a state of atom where the particles are very far apart, like the air. It has no shape, so it will take on the shape of whatever it's in, but otherwise it wants to spread out and have no shape. And it is super high energy. Because it wants to spread out, it has the energy to do that, and it has a very high energy. Out of the 3 that we're talking about this unit, gases have the highest energy. So go ahead and press pause, make sure that you get that stuff in. So we've got 3 things here for the 3 bullet points we have. So here's a picture. I would recommend drawing this picture underneath if you have space. That way you can kind of understand how the different states of matter look together. So here's an analogy you can think about it. Solids is like class time. You guys have a seat you need to be in. Everyone needs to be in one place when we're talking about things, giving announcements. Liquid would be like when you're going through the hallways. You guys are still confined to the walls. You guys have your spaces you have to go to, but there's a little bit more flow. There's a little bit more energy as you're going from one place to the next. And then gases are the end of the day. You guys leave the building and you spread out in every which direction to get out of here. So that's one way you could think about how solids, liquids, and gases work. Please make sure that you have your notes finished. And at the end, I'm going to have a picture of my notes so that you can make sure you've got everything you need. All right, thanks everyone. Make sure you've got these notes down because we are going to be checking these when we get back on, when we see you next in person.